think it's happening. Hi, people. How are you? Please let us know when you pop in here so Leland and I know that we are live and that we have you, because without you, it's just me and Leland talking through a screen. I mean, which isn't bad, but you know. So, hi everyone. Oh, let me put our names up there because we're super small. All right. So today, I am going to be chatting here in the classroom with Leland Best. And Leland does not need an introduction in Amy Carrier's classroom.
Probably not.
Because Leland is the man who teaches you all the video and video broadcasting and all of that stuff. So I have been looking forward to this. Let's see. I've been looking forward to this broadcast. I'm just trying to pull it up because I'm going to be looking at it on my iPad here. Yeah. I always want to talk to Leland because Leland is the person who has the answers to all the questions that I've had. So actually, for example, I'm broadcasting today in my living room, and the Wi-Fi is not great here. So I'm really hoping, knock on wood, that everything's going to be fine. But Leland and I, before we started broadcasting live, he's telling me why I need the headphones, even though I don't hear an echo. And I've never heard an echo. And I've never used earphones. He's helping me to understand why, which is part of the reason why Leland is amazing. But anyhow, let me say hello and welcome. Thank you to those of you who are here. Hi, Kamla. How are you? And thank you for saying hello in the comments and telling us your name, where you're from, and hit the share button on this, because I promise if you're watching a live video, everyone in your Facebook feed either watches them, participates in them, is thinking about going live at some point, and most people are just intimidated by the whole process. So we are here today to talk about just that. Right, Leland?
We're going to fix that problem.
That's great. Sure. So welcome to Amy Carrier's classroom. I am Amy Carrier. Sitting next to me is Leland Best. He is our video broadcasting guru, mentor, teacher in the classroom. He taught a whole series on setting up your home broadcasting studio. And we're hoping he comes back very soon and teaches us some more stuff. So if you did not catch that, we actually have a short summary highlighting, I think you did 10 lessons, right, Leland?
3 times. Yeah, there's about 30 some videos out there that I've put together over the last couple of years. So
see that? Leland has 30 videos out there, and he did a series in Amy Carrier's classroom, and it's all up there and it's free for you. And I'm going to ask someone to post that video recap so that you can see it and you can see the links to all 10 of those live videos. So you can actually learn how to set up your live broadcasting studio. So, okay, I hear someone says, I hear you. Okay, can you guys all hear us? Okay. Is there an echo? I want to know. This is a little bit of an experiment that Leland and I are doing, or he's teaching me. It's an experiment for me, but he's teaching me why I need earphones and I don't have them today.
I'll explain it. It's a very simple process. And what it comes down to is a term known as acoustic echo. And what acoustic echo is a rehash of the sound that you hear coming from your speakers, traveling back into the microphone and out to the broadcast. So when I speak, you won't hear the echo until I talk. Amy doesn't hear it because it's not close enough to her ears. She's hearing it from her speakers in front of her. And as that sound comes out, it kind of reverberates in the room and then bounces back into the microphone. And when it does that, I hear myself talk. So it makes it difficult. If you don't know this, when you do hear yourself talk at any time in a live broadcast, it will freeze your voice completely. You will not be able to speak because your brain can't process your own voice in your head while you're talking. So what ends up happening is you stumble on your words.
Yeah.
And as a broadcaster, you don't want that to happen. So we always recommend anyone on a live broadcast wear headphones or earbuds at least. And that way that reduces that effect. The other way to do that is to push your speakers further behind you. And now all in one unit like Amy has, she can't do that. Her speakers are attached to the unit, and laptops are very similar. That's why a lot of people buy extra microphones so that they can move the mic away from the speakers on the laptop. That's where the problem derives most of the time. And the only other real way to change that is to maybe turn the volume down on your speakers to where it's still enough that you can hear what's coming through the speakers, but not so much that when the sound travels back through it, it's picking up that sound and echo.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah, one of those
So
things.
see, there's your first little lesson from Leland. And let me say hello. We've got several people here. Kamla says, remember the time you did the live with Arthie Moore and there was an echo? That day, I think that the whole universe was shutting down my video. Like nothing worked. Nothing worked when she broadcast, when I broadcast. There was missing sound. So let me say hello to Lisetta, who's here. Zafranchechi, Kamla is here. It's so nice to see you all here. Saman is here. So please take a minute and share this live video. Leland and I are going to be spending probably the next 40 minutes or so chatting about why you should go live. And I can have that theoretical conversation just by myself, but it's pointless if I don't actually have the video guy sitting here with me explaining things to you and answering your questions. So today's the day for you to ask your questions about going live. Are you afraid? Do you not know how? Do you lack the equipment? Do you feel like you need to have a home studio like Leland has? Are you intimidated? Do you feel like you'll mess it up? Does it seem scary because you're making yourself available for unknown people live? So if you forget what you're talking about, does that scare you? Like, we want to talk about this. I know I was scared. I just did not want to do it at first. How about you, Leland? How did you first get into this? Were you just like, oh, this is no problem?
I'll make it a short, sweet story of how I got into video. I started in radio and television when I was in high school, when we broadcast to our alumni.
Oh.
So I had a class that I did for 2 years where we used old 60s, I'm talking 60s, 1960s and 70s radio and video equipment. But I learned a lot because it was all manual back then and analog. Now we're in a digital world, so things are much easier. We have the ability to broadcast on the internet or through computers or cell phones or however we want to do that in various different ways. For me, we all know being on stage in front of people is people's number one fear. It's common for everyone to get all jittery and freak out when they get in front of people to talk. For me, I left video for quite a while and got into civil engineering for 25 years. So when I came back to video, it was terrifying. I could play videos of me back in 2012, starting up more videos again in live and doing Google Hangouts because I was teaching people how to use Google Hangouts as a webinar platform. My first videos are so funny. It's hilarious. You go back and you watch those and I couldn't talk. I didn't know what I was saying. I was stumbling on my words. It takes practice. That's really all it is. I recommend to most people, record yourself and then delete it. Just watch it and say, boom, because then you realize your power to stop criticizing yourself. You can simply say, okay, that wasn't that good. Bye. And get rid of it. And don't dread over it. Don't dwell over it. You're best to just say, okay, I tried. That didn't work. Let's try again. And as we all know, as much as you need to try is what it's going to take to get it right. So just keep at it. It's not that difficult if you just keep practicing.
Yeah. And I think that's true. The idea of recording yourself is really valuable because I think people are intimidated and they're afraid. Am I going to look okay? Is my hair okay? I don't know, Leland, if you have this issue, but I certainly have. I have to make sure that I look nice before I go live. It's just, that's my priority. Not everybody's like that. But
I made a choice recently, and I've got a real vanity issue. Trust me. When it comes to, is my hair straight? Is this hair out of place?
I love it.
And that's okay to realize that you do have a vanity issue because I've now come to the realization that I can come right out of bed and turn on a camera and fire it up, and people don't care. It's like they
That's
look
true.
at me and they say, if they're if they know you and know who you are. Now you're going to get criticism from people like professionals. It's not professional to go out with mop head and do a business broadcast, obviously.
Right.
But if you're just punning around or want to network with people, let them see who you really are. You don't need to fancy yourself all up. Wear your t-shirt, let your hair go sideways, and come out here with, you know, some food in your beard or whatever, and just say, oh, I'm sorry, I was busy eating lunch. That's more authentic than anything. People love authenticity.
Yeah,
So
people do love authenticity. I completely agree. And more power to you if you can wake up and hit the live button. I've gotten better. But I'm still me. I mean, really the reality is I kind of always look like this. These are just my around the house clothes.
Oh yeah.
And I wear jewelry all the time, so that's nothing new. But I feel like there are reasons that people are too intimidated to go live. And I can think of the ones that intimidated me at first, but I'd like to hear from the audience. Hey, Alex, how are you? Hi, Kamala. Hi, Cynthia Reynolds. Tell us why you get intimidated by the idea of going live, doing live video. Tell us in the comments why that scares you or why you do it and how you got over that fear if you had fear. So Leland's story is pretty interesting. He was in the old AV club at school, working on really, really, really old analog equipment from way back in the day. And then everything changed. Everything's now digital. And he just told us that he was actually a little scared to go live again in the digital space, right?
Yeah, it was a whole different arena. I mean, it wasn't like I had my hands on equipment that I was familiar with already. So even those that are maybe videographers and are very familiar with an over-the-shoulder camera, or, you know, back in the day when VHS was so popular and everybody was running around with a VHS camera, now we have these things. These are much easier to use, obviously, but they are much more exposing because of the quality of the video that we have now. So what we deal with, and not only that, we have to deal with the infrastructure. We have the internet, we have the equipment, whether it's going to work or not, whether the internet connection is going to fail or drop. So there's always those little things that present. Before it was just, you might have ran out of power and that was it. You know? So you carried extra batteries and you were good, and you didn't have to think
video power. Oh man. So this broadcast might be shorter than I think. I'm on battery and Wi-Fi and no headphones. Like, I am radical going live today. So let me read a couple comments because they're great. Cynthia Reynolds says, I can assure you that I am not a wake up in the morning and hit the camera person. All right, me either. Look at that guy.
I don't know if you guys can see him all. He's probably half on the screen and half up. I'll move him over a little bit.
No, it's good. And then Alex Bertlin, Alex just loves us right now. He says, you guys look great today. Fountain of Youth, tell me where it is now. Thanks, Alex. Hey, Alex, you need to confirm with someone. Are you and I going live next Monday? Because I'm going to prove that you also drink from the Fountain of Youth, okay?
Yeah,
he does.
He
does.
I'm going to put him over here.
And then I've got Cynthia says, I'm much more comfortable with going live thanks to Bertola, putting a camera in my face again and again. Can't thank him enough for that. Practice makes perfect. It's totally true. In fact, the same thing happened with me with someone who knows Bertola, and that's Rehan. I met him here. First thing he did, we were at breakfast with other people, and he just holds up his phone. He recorded me. He said, can I record? What's your story? Can I record it? And I'm like,
oh yeah.
Okay. And this was before Facebook Live. This was like 4 years ago or something. And then he was the one who convinced me, as you guys know, to open this classroom and to broadcast live myself. And then I just started saying to other people, can you guys join me, please? This is all just for fun and volunteer. So yeah, sometimes it takes somebody else pushing you out of your comfort zone. And I hope that that somebody else can be me and or Leland today. Because the thing that I said to Leland before I hit the live button, even if you don't have a business or a product or something you're selling, you have a voice. And nowadays, with everything that's happening in the world, your voice needs to be heard. And we have a free platform to do that. You already pay for your Wi-Fi, you already pay for your phone. The live button is free. Speak your truth. Say what you need to say. And Michael Cillian is here. Someone says, oh, yes, Alex will be joining. Oh, Monday, June 3rd. Is that next Monday? No, it's the one after.
2 weeks. Yep, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Memorial Day's
So
coming
hello
up.
to everybody who's here. And this is an interactive live today, which is the whole point. So Leland and I are here to help you get rid of your fear, whatever's blocking you from hitting the live button and doing your own live videos. And I want to help give you the courage, but I want Leland to actually be giving you the insight of how to do this. And Leland's got, you know, a whole studio, and he's got all this equipment, and you can learn about that in Amy Carrier's classroom. But Leland, what can you tell people about just starting this process of making their videos and going live, even if they don't have a studio?
Well, let me start with the fact that I run a website called bcblive.com. And if you want to go take a look at it, there is a book that I wrote back in 2017 known as Best's Guide to Live Stream Video Broadcasting. It's a 106-page book that I put together and I use as the basis for my classes over at Amy Carrier's classroom. Now, that's just a simple download. It's starting to become outdated because there are sites that change their formats very rapidly out here in the live stream environment. So I'm in the process currently of updating that guide to a little smaller version so that it's easier for people to comprehend. But because it's somewhat technical, but what I'm trying to do is get people to understand studios aren't that complicated. The biggest things you require in a studio are a unit, a camera, a microphone, some headphones, some type of video process, the lighting. Green screen's not necessary. You see me putting these things over top of me in this broadcast without the use of the green screen that's sitting behind me. This can be done at any time in most softwares. And then your typical PC equipment, and of course, a nice comfy desk and chair. From that, you can create really any type of broadcast that you can see out on public television right now at any channel on the internet. So it's not the difficulty of the process so much as it is getting to know the ins and outs of what you need to do to create, distribute, and then follow through with the video that you create. Because once you record it live, it gets a lot more action even after that. So you want to consider live is the ultimate connecting point with you and your audience. That's where you're going to make that one-on-one connection face-to-face. But it's what you teach and what you tell that's going to determine how far that information gets. So that's why we try to help people understand everybody's voice has a purpose. There's some message to your person that's available. You may not have found it yet. It took me years to find out what my message actually was, and that's just to help other people do video. So that might not be your message, but it does come to you over time. You have to kind of work that stage to figure out what it is.
Right. And I think, Leland, that I think in one of the descriptions for this video, I wrote, you know, you want to be making live videos, not just to build your business and sell your products, but to build your brand. Let the world see who you are. And if, like Cynthia, you're not the person who's going to wake up in the morning and grab the phone and hit the live button, there are several of us who won't do that. But you still have something to say. You have a personality. And, you know, people are done with canned video, frankly. And I learned that years ago, right? People don't want something that's done professionally in a studio that, you know, is stale. It was produced 2 weeks ago. Those people aren't there. They're not in that room. It's not live. You can't ask them questions. So now people want instant. And we live in an instant world. Everything happens and changes. Leland just said that his book came out in 2017, and already there are things that need to be updated. So everything we're saying in this video today will probably at some point need to be updated. And it's just the case. And you change and you grow constantly. So don't assume that if you said something once, that's it. That's your entire message and it's out there. Also, don't assume that people are going to find it again. I follow a lot of people, Leland, who, like, they've done a video on a topic before, but they just do another one. And it's always different because who they are, their mindset, the information they have is different, but it might still be on the same topic, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could probably go back and find 6 videos that I did on how to build a website because I had a different approach on each video. But for me, what I think is most important when it comes to developing, like you said to get your brand known or to tell more about you. We used to use the phrase "you Inc., which meant your brand is you. So you should relate to your brand personally. And that's how it's going to relate to your customer if you are personally involved in your brand. You also mentioned the word candid, which we use a lot in this business. It's actually the name of my Facebook webbot is Candid. She's a robotic entity that does her thing, and that's what I just gave her as a name. We look at things that are in this industry, we call things canned, which is they're put into a metal reel. That's how it's shipped around the country to movie theaters and such as that. That was the old way. Now canned has become candid. And what was real, REEL, has now become real, REAL. So we have a whole different atmosphere when it comes to generating the video. And you see more of a person's personality in these live broadcasts. Joe Rogan just recently stated that you can't fake live. And it's a very true statement. And what you'll discover is those people who have done a lot of video over time that was recorded, and you see their sales pitches and all that, and then you realize these people won't do live video, that's a big red flag. So keep that in mind.
Yep. Because you don't know what you're actually getting.
That's right.
You know what it makes me think, Leland, is when, famous singers, they record and they sell their album, it's always the best, most polished version of that song. And there are some of them who shall remain nameless, who when you see them live, like, no. And especially artists who were popular, 10 years ago, they struggle now to hit those high notes or to perform the way they did, which is fine, but you have to evolve. And live video actually lets you evolve. So at this point, most people have Facebook profile photos that go back 10 years. You evolve, your face evolves, your message evolves. And if you're a singer or a dancer, your talents evolve. So don't let people be shocked when they actually show up and meet you in person and you don't look like those photos and you don't sing like you did 10 or 15 years ago. So I think that's one of the huge advantages of live video.
Absolutely. Let me give you, maybe I can help people a little bit if they're struggling. Let me see if I can do something here real quick. I wanted to see if I could find a video that I have available to me. I may have deleted it though. There's one.
So show us some cool stuff that you have.
Well, I want you guys to see something so that you understand what evolving is really like. Okay. I'm going to put this video on the screen. And it's going to replace me. So you may be able to hear, you may be able to not. I was doing a show with a lady by the name of Julie Becker back in 2013 called Mind Over Money. It was a broadcast that I did with a bunch of very astute internet marketers that I was interviewing for this. And we were a team, a host, co-host. I'm only going to play a few seconds of this so you can see what I used to look like on camera and get a full understanding of where I was at 5-6 years ago.
Okay. I'm putting only you on the screen so people can see.
Yep, it'll take just a second.
So, that was quick.
You won't be able to hear the audio on this. Just bear that in mind. It's going to, well, you should be able to. Let me see. Here we go. A weekly broadcast by two of today's professional internet marketers involved with My Lead System Pro. Is it coming through? Leland Best with their fresh insights, you'll discover that it's not so much about the money as it is the mind over the money. So with that being said, let's move on with today's topic for discussion. Today, Leland and Julie are joined by the MLS. So I'm going to skip ahead.
We decided to get together and talk about it, mostly because Aaron Dean was
let me get to me talking here so you guys can understand what kind of experience, guys. I've read your bios. So really, we have 3 of each on each side. So we've got the Brady Bunch, and we now have what are looking to be 8 grandchildren. We have 5, but we have 3. So do you get an understanding just looking at that
Three
video?
daughters who are pregnant right now.
I'm trying to make it easy
two
for everybody
are our
to
own daughters
see
and one.
exactly what state of mind I was in at the time.
Yeah.
I was so nervous. I was talking with people just like me and you, but I would choke on my words. I wasn't sure what to ask next. I was doing everything impromptu for the most part because that's just my nature. It's the way I do things. But I go back and I watch those videos and I go, oh my God, over these last 5 years, I've come so far from that and the production quality I was able to produce. Yeah. So it's just a matter of time.
So the other thing about this, the more you do live video, the more comfortable you're going to get in your own skin.
Yeah.
The more comfortable you're going to get interviewing, meeting people, networking, having impromptu conversation, connecting with people, and thinking on your feet, and getting comfortable with pausing to think. That's one of the biggest challenges. Yes.
Yeah. And you've brought up a really good point, Amy, because there's a lot of ways we can use moments of silence. We can either pause for effect, but the biggest part here is to know when to shut up. So let's just be honest. When you have a guest, like we have here, you have me as a guest.
Yep.
The guest should do a majority of the speaking because that's why you brought them onto the stage. And that's the purpose of the interview, is to get information from your guest. So if you're a host and you want to do a good broadcast, give that time to your guest. You can talk about it all you want after the fact or even before the fact. But when you have that guest on camera, let them do the speaking. And from there, interact with your guest as well. Don't leave it all up to them because you brought them on stage. You want them to perform for you, but you have to guide them. You have to give them some instruction on what it is, the message you're trying to create. So the guest can help you produce that message as well, which is fantastic. In the case of what we're doing nowadays, I think the biggest thing is to, one, get a little handle on the technology. So let me show you some of the things real quick. Amy's been wanting me to put some stuff up here so you guys can see it. One of the things we work with a lot are lower thirds. So let me make sure I'm not going to bounce anything out of the way here.
Lower thirds?
Yeah, this was the video that we were running. This was behind me, okay? This was an image. This is just a video on top. I can place what's called an overlay of a screen on top of that. So let's say I want to change that background to something else. I just used the transition.
Daughter-in-law.
Merging.
So it's really one of those.
Sorry about the audio. Let me close that video audio off. That was my fault. So I can fade things. I can make things transition from one side, which is the preview I'm looking at on my end. And I'm going to show you that as well, because I want you guys to get a better understanding of what I have to do here on the back end. And I just need to put up my positions here. This is the interface I'm working with right now while we're broadcasting on Amy Carrier's Classroom. You see me in the corner, which is the preview pane. This isn't what's being broadcast out. What you're seeing is what's in that pane over there, which is my desktop, and it shows the vMix software that I use to generate my broadcasts. Looks complicated. A lot of people see this and they go, I can't do that. Well, that's not necessarily true. I'm self-taught. I didn't know how to use this software before I started using it. So I learned it on my own. There are manuals for all this stuff. It's very easy to pick up once you play with it a little bit. But you can see the complexity of it. What Amy's using is BeLive TV, which is not so complex, but it's more of a software method of being able to perform the same task on a website, which is much different than using an application that you put on your computer. So what I tell people is if you want to do stuff like this, where you're getting fancy and you're using your name and telling where you're from and giving your picture of your face, which is a typical lower third, or if you want to talk about products like the things we use out here, which is OBS software is one that I recommend. It's the granddaddy of them all. vMix is what I'm currently using. There's also softwares like Wirecast, which is used by many of the pro broadcasters, and it's used a lot in regular television. In fact, we had a friend who used Wirecast to do a broadcast concert for John Legend. Yes, John Legend.
John Legend? Wow.
And then we have ones like VidBlaster and Manicam. These are all range in price. You could spend from free, honestly, which is OBS, to $30 or so for Manicam, to hundreds or thousands. The vMix software I use, $1,500 flat out one time. Others charge subscription models. So you have to kind of do your homework. And what I tell everyone is not every software is for everybody. Go out and practice with them. Try them all. Just get the free trials. load them on your machine. Go
Right.
check out the websites and then play and find what fits you. Don't lock yourself into something that's uncomfortable. And then you go from there and get into the graphics like we talked about with the overlays. This allows you to talk about a topic. So these are the things you should remember about websites and software.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the software may run well on one machine and on another. Old systems have problems with some of these new software, so you may have to upgrade your hardware. Live video apps can be complicated and confusing, as you just saw. And most sites run better in Chrome right now than any other browsers available because of the WebRTC component that's being utilized. Most third-party apps will record your output for your own use later, because you have to remember, when it's recorded online, it's not always the best quality. It's usually a lower grade quality. And many sites are broadcasting to Facebook now. Facebook just put a little bit of a kibosh on that because they have their own suite of software that they want to impose on people, which is Live Producer. And in that process, they've limited the way that they connect. So we've got a lot of things going on we have to keep up with, but it's best to just pick one and go with it and try it. And if you don't like it, go try another one. That's the best way to go.
Yeah. That's such great advice, because, and I love, like, every single one of these softwares or products has a free trial.
Oh, yeah.
You could probably, and I think they're like 2 weeks, right?
Mostly they start from 7 to 14 days. Yeah.
So there you go, 7 to 14 days. So you could easily fill up a few months of just trying different things and just sit down in front of your computer. And if it is your phone, if you don't have a computer, or if you have a tablet, look for the things that are compatible. For example, I am using BeLive. It does work on my phone. It works on my tablet. And it works for me because on the months that I actually know that I'm going to go live, I pay for my subscription. If I'm going to take off a couple of months or take off a month, I just cancel it.
Yeah.
And then I come back.
Yeah.
And it's simple. For me, it's simple because I'm not in a position to do what Leland does, which is why Leland exists and why I asked him to come in and teach this stuff. But it's just a good reminder that there's something for everyone. Because I kind of feel like Leland and I are on two ends of the spectrum with this stuff. I'm like, okay, I just literally hit the live button and I feel comfortable now with BeLive. Feeling a little bit like an old person saying that. I feel comfortable with BeLive, so I don't want to go out of my comfort zone. But it serves my needs, and it's not too expensive, so it's fine. You know, I've got bigger fish to fry in the world.
And my book will have recommendations. I've reviewed most of the software sites out there and software apps as well on bbcblive.com. So if you want to get more information about some of these products before you go downloading files or signing subscription models, then just go check out my reviews. And I loved your idea of just using it when you need to. And I'll be honest, Amy, you do a lot more live video than I do. Right on. You do.
Really?
You're online more than I am. Absolutely. I'm more of a behind the scenes producer. Well, I tend to work with people.
Yeah.
Be the guy you don't see.
Right.
And I do all the switching and all that going on behind the scenes. So I'm the button pusher. You're the actual talent. You're the person that's on the screen all the time. I do talent work as well. I host broadcasts. I do all that stuff. But the majority of the work I do is not that. So when I come live, I usually teach. I come out here and I show people how to use video. You can find me currently at Amy's classroom doing my book, but I also teach some stuff over on another site known as getvocal.com. So that's one of those networking video sites that you come out, you join up with people to have conversations, and you set up scheduled appointments to do whatever. So it's a community. And let's just put it for what it is. All of these things stem from community. Mm-hmm. If we don't have a community, you can make videos all day long and nobody's going to care.
Right.
Unless that one guy says, well, I forgot how to, fix my faucet today. So he goes to YouTube and finds a recorded video. But if you want followers and customers and friends, you got to network. You got to be in with the people. It's not about just being on camera.
Right. Otherwise, you have nobody to watch your videos. Pretty simple. And that's why we do this as a classroom, because we've got so many different people who volunteer just to go live for 30 minutes or an hour a week when they've got the time to teach you what they know. And there's a huge advantage to doing that because we now have 6,200 members from 120 different countries, and that's a community. And Leland knows he wants to either go live and teach something, or if he wants to practice using a particular software, or he just wants to do this series of teaching 10 lessons from his book, or he just wants to give back to the world. This is the place to do it because there's a big audience. There's a big audience. Now, Facebook, I mean, Facebook has its own issues and algorithms that don't allow everybody to have access to this, which is why we teach you and we ask you to, in your settings for Amy Carrier's Classroom, click the See First button. So when you look at the top of the page, there's like, it depends on what your browser, your interface is.
No, I'm going to go right over there for you so they can see it.
Yeah, so show us, because when you click See First, and you get to select 20 different profiles or pages or individuals to see first on your page. And if you do that for our classroom, you're always going to get all of the free live videos that happen in Amy Carrier's Classroom. And all of those people up at the top, Leland, I'm going to put you on, there we go. All of those people on that beautiful blue map up at the top of the page, they are volunteer teaching you everything they have to know, everything they know, and they do it whenever they have time. Leland, I'm going to keep you on screen. I'm going to let you talk through what you're doing right now.
I'm just over at Amy Carrier's Classroom, which is the public group we want you to come take a look at. And the map that you see is the global reference to all of our mentor teachers who are out here from all over the globe. We've got people from China, India, Pakistan, South Africa, South America, the US, Sweden, UK, you name it. We're from all over. So you're getting a gamut of geometry when it comes to geology. What's that word? Not geography. Thank you. God, they also
there's some geometry to geology, so it's okay.
Just saying. So, I could get into the fact that you want them to come over here and actually get the notifications.
Yes.
And when you do so, you have to make sure that if you're going to select every post is what you're going to probably get, is you want to see all the posts. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly where that link went, where you can actually tell them to come first. Don't you have to do that from your friends list or something like that for friends?
No, there should be. I don't know. I don't do it on my computer. I do it on my phone.
Okay, well, maybe on the phone it's a little.
When you see the follow button, like
when you have it, I think exactly. That's on the page though, Amy. I think that's the only thing you can actually set up notifications ahead of time.
Can you play with this a little bit and put it in the comments for us?
Yeah, I'd be curious because I've tried to do that in groups. I know it's available, but I can never seem to find it. When you follow a page or a person, you can definitely right away tell that algorithm to put their posts ahead. I can show that if I go back over to a friend. Let me just pick one. I'll show you. I'm not on the screen right now, of course.
Yeah, why would they do that? Yep, you're on screen. I'm going to put me on screen.
It's hard to say when Facebook's going to change where something's located. I sit here as a beta tester for a lot of the stuff that Facebook does, and I get stuff before a lot of people do. I'll see these little things pop up on the screen, and I'll go to use them, and then they're gone a few days later. So you never really know when Facebook's going to bounce a thing from here to there or move it around. It's always in flux. We just have to try to keep up and look for those things. So,
well, the good news is, can you put the page up on the screen, Leland? Because all of the live videos go over on the page.
Oh, you are putting on the page. Okay. All right. Let's do that then. Because here's Amy Carrier's Classroom page, which currently right now we could use some more followers. There's only
guys, come on, join us. It's free. It's free lessons from experts.
So this is what we were talking about earlier, is when you're following a page, you can actually come over here and set it to show up in your news feed first. So as long as we're announcing the events that are taking place in Amy Carrier's Classroom group out on the page as well, and people have identified to see these posts first, then they should be receiving notifications right away.
Right.
And we'll go from there. but that's about
Good.
the best we can do with the way Facebook's set up right
With
now.
it, yeah, the limitations. Hey,
There were. Whoops, I put you on twice. So there were two of you there. See how easy I can become Amy Carrier on video? It's kind of scary, isn't
too
it?
many Amy's on the screen. So, okay. One of the other things that is really important when you are interviewing and having a conversation with someone live is give them the opportunity to talk about themselves. So I'm real casual when I do this. So Leland and I just started out chit-chatting, but I'm pulling something from something that Leland brought on screen, brought into our dialogue, and that was that video that he put up on screen. And in that video, I think you said you had 8 grandchildren in 2013.
Yes, I did.
Just 8, or are there more?
No, there are no more yet. We actually lost one, which is a sad truth. It was a stepchild that it was our daughter was married and had children. And to get into the depth of it, she divorced and remarried her BFF. And now they are happily married with children, which is an odd place to be, but they are very comfortable where they're at. And we lost the grandchild to her former husband. And we miss her a lot. So, Kayla, if you're out there watching this, we do love you. It's just one of those things that you have to experience in life. We are a mixed family. We are both married and divorced. So we brought 3 kids into the relationship each ourselves. We had the Brady Bunch. I have a trans son who's transitioning. So you can come up with whichever gender fits at the time, I suppose. At one time we had the Brady Bunch, now we don't. But it's just a matter of how things progress. Again, it's
6 kids are still a Brady Bunch. A blended family is still a Brady Bunch, regardless of numbers.
But that was how we always used to say it: 3 boys, 3 girls. And now we don't say that anymore.
Right.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, and that's just the way the world is evolving. We're seeing that we're allowing people to do what they want to do. And for me, being a grandparent at the age that I was, it was kind of interesting. I married into it. These children came through Jenna's children. So my own kids are too young yet. My oldest is 24. He hasn't gotten into a relationship yet. And then we have a younger that's still 17. So my kids are about half the age of Jenna's kids in reality. I'm just a few years younger than her. So it's.
So can I ask, what age were you a grandfather?
Absolutely. 42.
That's young. That's amazing. But you know what? It means that you're going to be around to watch all of these generations. Just
you can see it all.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we've got a couple of questions here, or a couple comments and questions. So, and Sami Jabran, how are you? Malik Tahir, how are you? Malik, you're asking about what do you suggest for team building? I think that's a different topic, but I encourage you to ask the question in the classroom. And when you do that, it gives all of the mentor teachers ideas of things to broadcast about so that you can learn more.
Can I address that though? There is something I'd like to add to that question because
sure.
Video is such a huge team building opportunity.
It's the only way our team exists, right, Leland?
Yeah. Exactly. But when I refer to that, it's not so much in this environment where it's one-on-one in an interview. This is the networking aspect of it.
Right.
But if you want to build a team and you have people, it sounds like she wants to bring people together, then you need the right platform, which allows for more than one person to come in at a time. So things like Zoom and Blue Jeans is another that are very inexpensive or free. Appear.in is another that allows you to get up to 6 people on screen at a time. Some go as high as 12 to 100. So if you want to build a team, get some people on video and get them talking and get them interacting with each other. And that will help you definitely do that.
Oh yeah, that's how we've built this Amy Carrier's classroom team. And thanks to Leland, on New Year's Day last year, all of us on the team, a dozen of us from around the world, were able to go live and get on screen during that live because Leland can do these things because he's amazing.
That was fun.
But absolutely, use that for building your relationships.
Hey everyone, welcome to the broadcast. Whoops. Here, I was going to just show them. This was the way we did that. We had interviews coming in from around the world, and we sat everybody down in a big 6-screen layout. You can see me as just an overlay off in the corner, and people called in on their cell phones or on their desktops from Sweden, California, Massachusetts, Pakistan, Brazil, or no, we had Spain. Who else did we have that day? We had all kinds of people just coming in and collaborating with us on video.
Yeah, it was amazing. That still amazes me that we could do that. And you were really the person who did that. So thank you.
It was fun.
So I've got a couple more questions here. Kamala's asking, what do you suggest I use as a coach who has to do 3 lives each week? So it sounds like this Kamala does lives as a part of her work, her coaching. So she's looking for suggestions.
I'm going to recommend 2 or 3 sites for you immediately that you can jump in for free and at least get a test drive of. One is the one Amy's using right now, which is BeLive.tv, which is BeLive.tv. The other is StreamYard.com, which is new to the arena actually, and a very good competitor to BeLive. It's actually blowing BeLive out of the water right now with the feature set that they've added to it. And the other is Stage10.tv. I'll leave the links in the video after we're done here in the comment section. Stage 10 TV is free for anyone that has less than 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and has many of very simple drag and drop features that these softwares have, but each have their own little nuances. Some have features that others don't. Some let you play videos, others don't. Some have the full graphics overlay capabilities, others don't. So it's really a matter of trying them out.
That's awesome.
Right now, StreamYard.com is the top on my list, and it'll probably make #1 in my book this year, just because of the way the community is developing, the feature set that they have over there, and the stability of the platform itself. It's stellar. It just really is.
Can you say that again? StreamYard?
Yes, StreamYard.com. Here, I'll do that much for you. Let's see if we can. And again, this is another one of those things where with a title overlay, if I wanted to come in here real quick and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with myself, I could do all kinds of really cool animated titles of one form or another. And all I really have to do is change the type inside each comment that I create. So in a case like this, I'm just going to drop something on screen real quick. And this would do something like this. I didn't even fill in the subscription, so you could see that this stuff is very dynamic. StreamYard.com would be my #1 choice. The other, obviously, would be BeLive.tv, which is what she's using right now. And that should change on the screen here in just a second, if it does.
There we go. Awesome. Kamala says thank you for that, Leland. And Albert says Leland is always the best at these setups and presentations. I admire it. So Abu Bakar Ahmad says, how can we do this with our phones? Because many of us use only mobile phones.
Okay, that's a great question because there are several ways you can do that right now. And I'm going to recommend one other one too while I'm here is the one that Facebook is actually putting together that's going to be a huge competitor to all of these third-party websites that are out there. If you all remember at one point or another, for those who know me anyway, is I used to be involved with the team over at vidpresso.com, which I'm going to just do something real quick so you guys can follow up with what's going on with Facebook, because I think this is important for everybody doing video right now. I just went over to vidpresso.com and the site is down now. Okay. It was still open for quite some time. Oh, here we go. Now it's under facebook.vidpresso.com. This is a site that used to exist on its own, and now it's being incorporated directly into Facebook. So if I were over on facebook.com, what I'm going to recommend to everyone that's watching right now to do is head over to a group that's available. Now, this isn't contrary to what Amy's doing. This is Live Producer in Creator Studio. And what that means is they're building out an entire online video platform inside Facebook to do just what I'm showing you here today. Now, in order to do so and become a silent beta tester, you could come over here and join this group, or I can enter you into this group. We have people from Pakistan. We have people from Ogden, Utah, and Germany and other places who are involved in this team. So don't be shy. This isn't just a Facebook only type participation. And come on over and join the group and take a look at what's going on. What's going to happen very soon in Facebook is you're going to have access through here to Creator Studio. What Creator Studio is going to do is allow you to come over here through your web pages, through your business pages, is come over here under Creative Tools and go to Live Producer. This Live Producer feature is basically the exact thing that was put together for vidpresso.com. Now it's built in. So you come in here, you load data. Again, I'm a beta tester, so no one has full access to the system just yet. But we can get you in there if you want to play around, if they continue with what they're doing. So you can see here, this is very much similar to what we're doing on Amy's video. And I could come in here and start adding graphics and doing all kinds of really cool stuff. I'm not going to get into Live Producer itself, but I just wanted people to know, sorry, Amy, wanted people to know that there are so many changes coming that you don't want to just lock into any one thing right now. Watch what the environment is doing and then decide.
Right. So I'm putting myself on screen, but I'm not there. I wonder why that is.
Let me do one other thing. I'm going to make it easy for everyone here. Since I mentioned these three, and I want Amy to at least get something out of this for the folks who are watching and know where to go. I mean, I can say these names all day. This is BeLive that she's using currently. Solo, interview, and talk show, which is up to 4 guests, I believe, with green room for people to hang out in before bringing them on stage, all kinds of overlay effects, etc. The other I mentioned was StreamYard. So I'm going to take you guys to StreamYard.com. And again, all I'm doing here is doing a desktop share through vMix so that you guys can see what's on my other screen. This is the software system that they use over at StreamYard. Like I said, it's still in beta, like most of the software stuff really is anyway. And then the third is stage10.tv. And this one looks like this. And you can just come over here and sign up, join up. The pricing, again, is free for this one. That's what I meant to show you on the other ones. It's completely free to get started over here and start playing around with it. You will have a watermark, but you can simulcast to one destination. If you want to go crazy, you can see here what people are charging per month for these large platforms that give you enterprise. I keep putting Amy in my place. Sorry about that. So you can see you could pay nothing. OBS. Go grab the software to learn it. It's open source. It's been around for almost 20 years. A lot of people think live streaming is new. It's not. It's been around since 1993. And the first radio broadcast that was ever done, go look it up. It was known as Severe Tire Damage. It was a garage band that is literally people from Google. I can't think of the name of the companies. There were several companies involved in this when Google was just starting out that were doing live video in competition with the Rolling Stones. Their videos were better than what the Rolling Stones were putting on the internet at the time. So
no way. Look
for the video. It's actually in my book and available online on Vimeo. Look up Severe Tire Damage. You should get a video of the first internet broadcast ever created. And I
got some news. My battery just
out of her battery.
Low. So I have to wrap this up. And there's some great questions that we didn't get to, and we're up on the hour. Nasser was asking about budget microphones. So I think, Leland, I hope you'll just come back in the classroom and answer these questions and talk more about it.
I'll do one better. Go to amazon.lelandbest.com or just search my name on Amazon. You will find the storefront that I've put together for all the products available that I recommend off Amazon. If you want to come to BCB Live, I also have reviews of microphones and other software and hardware that you can use.
There you go, guys. Straight from the expert. And Joseph Jong, I'm going to have Leland look at the comments so he can get back to you. And everyone else, thank you so much for your comments. I'm sorry, we are up against the hour and we're up against my battery. So on that note, Leland, this was fun. I'm really glad we did this. And I'm always so amused by what you know how to do and what you put on the screen. And I always learn something more.
Bye. Oh, he's not talking. Oh, we lost her. Her battery finally died. So I guess I'll be the one to outro this. This has been Leland Best and Amy Carrier coming to you from Amy Carrier's classroom today, giving you the what what for on live video and what it means to actually get your voice heard and your face seen in live video. So come out and join us at Amy Carrier's classroom. It's a totally free class. All you have to do is look me up. There's probably 30 videos out there. I did 3 sessions of 10 videos each at least that walk you through my book, The Best Guide to Live Stream Video Broadcasting. That'll be updated very soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'll be coming back to the classroom intermittently back and forth over the summer so that you guys can learn a little bit more about this. But we'll see you guys in the next broadcast. Hopefully you heard some of that. Maybe you didn't hear any of it, but we'll see you next time, guys. Take care and have a wonderful day.